I like to use some text, a teaching example for a workshop, so that any participant learns some content as well. In other words, I like to lead a workshop that I myself would like to attend. And that's not necessarily a workshop on just abstract principles of assessment or writing learning outcomes. My favorite one was on Dr. King's letter from Birmingham jail, where I give the participants the 12-page letter itself, ask them to read it, and then I put them into a collaborative learning exercise where they then look up helplessly as if to say, what do you want us to do next? I have given them the assignment, but then instead of giving them further instructions, we just put up the quote that says, teaching is the art of leading students to a place where they can only escape by thinking. So, time to think. So, they begin to collaborate, come up with their topic, which they then share with the group. By the end of the workshop, we've seen multiple learning outcomes emerge from just one reading assignment. As an English teacher, my goal always is to get students to read the text closely, to ask, how do we raise questions of this text? So I try to model that for the faculty. But at the very least, they learn something about Dr. King's letter from Birmingham jail. Classical rhetorical principles. I think Bob Gerval does the same thing with the Seneca letter. I see it as an opportunity for Lingnan to be the flagship liberal arts university in Hong Kong. I think it is easier for them than for example, science and technology, because they already are liberal arts university. Now they don't have science faculty to teach their cluster course, science, technology, and society. So they're out interviewing and hiring for 1- and 2-year positions to come in and get that running. Ultimately, that may lead to structural changes in their departments, or at least the creation of a new department. Mm-hmm. But right now it's arts, business, and social sciences. Right. The spectrum is so wide. I think it's like, say, which ones are the best for American universities. Let me just speak to Lingnan. Yeah, please. I think service learning and the collaborative learning that's part of service learning have the most potential to impact student learning at a place like Lingnan. When we're wanting the students to be more active, right, we simply should require that they be more active. It seems like a no-brainer. Yeah. But I understand that City University has an excellent track record of service learning also, PolyU requiring it. And so I think it has possibilities for all the universities, with the emphasis on learning more so than the service and simply putting in hours. Right. It's always a challenge. We try to get students into the community, but without taking up too much of the service agency's time. Right. We are expecting miracles almost from this 4th year, aren't we? we have the ideal Lingnan graduate, the ideal PolyU graduate, and I think all of the faculty have put their dreams into writing those goals. Right. I would like to see the students taking charge of more of the enrichment events on campus, more of the activist events. It's done for them. It's done for them from what I can see, and I will claim that I'm not seeing everything, and I don't know Cantonese, so sure, there's a lot of conversation happening that I'm not perceiving. But at many strong American liberal arts universities, we will see students organizing chapters of, say, Project Africa Now or Free Burma. Right. Mm-hmm. I'm not seeing that in Hong Kong as much, but I am seeing many enrichment events and scholarly lectures organized by faculty. Yeah. Almost every day there's an email about another lecture with some faculty member sharing research. That's good, but when I go, I don't see students there, except maybe in the major, and some of those students are postgraduates. So I don't know what it will take other than these active learning strategies to get students to take the next leap and say, what this campus needs is blank.
Yeah, yeah, and then
And,
to take that on.
and actually demonstrate the leadership for a cause. I don't see a huge difference in students, American students or Hong Kong students. Maybe because I teach in the South and our students are very polite and close to their families. Many of them have not traveled very far from home to come to college. So my sense is a little different than if I taught at, say, a New England university that did attract national and international students. But I still see students who are very socially connected with each other, and in ways I think those social connections are more important to them than their academic progress.
Right.
Except when they're talking to their parents, about how successful they'll be. So I do think any learning strategies that can use those social connections will be more effective.